Hello and welcome to another episode of The Real Shot 256. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining us. We'll make it a quick one. We'll just talk about the charts, not really talk about news today. We'll make it a quick one. We'll just go through the TA side of things on your favorite cryptos. Again, if there is something that you'd like us to take a look at, definitely leave it down in the comments. We'll try to get to it as soon as possible. So let's just do a quick update today before we hit the weekend. Hope you're having a great end of the week, a great weekend eve, and hopefully you have something exciting planned. I don't. I'm just gonna stay home and just do a bunch of honeydew kind of things. So not looking too exciting. Not as exciting as the charts today. We did definitely seen plenty of action going on with definitely seeing a lot of action with Bitcoin and some of the altcoins. We're going to talk about Link real quick and also Algorand, two coins that we have traded in the past, and we did get in one of those trades. We actually got into Link earlier today, and actually turned out to be quite a okay trade. I waited for confirmation, so I didn't get the full run, but I did go into it and actually gained a little bit of gained a little bit on that trade. Algorand was one that just kind of escaped me. Even though I have it in my coins to watch, I was not paying attention to it, and it skyrocketed to like something like 60% at one point. So we'll talk about those two briefly as well. But looking at current state of the market, what happened here? Frozen. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Market cap $290 billion, inching into the 300 billion. Will we get there? I actually will talk about that here in just a moment. $55 billion in the last 24-hour volume, 24-hour volume, trading volume that is, and Bitcoin dominance back up to the above 66.4. So told you guys no no altcoin runs yet, no altcoin summer yet. We have to wait. We have to remain patient if we want to see that. I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. I do think at some point, like we did today with some of the altcoins, at some point they should start to react. But I don't think we're going to see a big bounce like everybody's telling you. Everybody and grandmother are talking about. Oh yeah, the altcoin summer's coming, and it's going to be coming big, and you're going to make these 100x on these ridiculous number 506 on coin market cap is going to go 300x. That's just stuff. That's just nonsense. So hopefully you're not paying attention to that, all that gibberish. Anyway, Bitcoin's almost back to 200 billion as well. Take a look at Chainlink, currently sitting at that about 12%, 12.5% almost. It did get up to about 50% at one point, but down just a tiny bit from today's high. Let's get into the actual charts and look at Bitcoin. We're currently trading at around 10,819. Now this did hit one of our targets. Let's bring up some of the drawings here. So definitely actually getting past some of our targets. So it does look there's two things to talk about here. It does look like it wants to come back and retest this area of resistance up here in this formation. Now, a few things, right? Some people were calling this a bear flag, right? And I've been telling you guys this is trading in a downward channel or wedge, if you will, which typically this is indicative of a bull pattern, right? This is a bull pattern here. So and I did get some criticism from people saying that no, this is a bear flag. No, you should learn how to identify these things. No, we're look, the macro trend, the bigger trend is this guy right here. We're on a falling or descending wedge or channel, and this is typically a more of a bullish pattern, right? So whoever you are that said that was giving me some grief about this being a bear flag, well, guess what? I don't think so. So anyway, it looks like we do want to test the top area of this resistance here within the formation. It does look like it wants to come back and retest that. We did break through these main areas of resistance here. I do think it's going to come up and face one more area here where is Bitcoin will be tested again. Actually, a bit lower than that right here. Okay, so Bitcoin is coming right up into the 950 area, and it will have a pretty sizable test there to get through. Now, here's my concern. I think we're fizzling out, and this is why. I'm looking at the volume here. It's still in a descending. I was actually looking for the volume to break above this descending resistance line here. We did see a break slightly above the exponential on the volume, which is good, but we are not seeing the follow through volume that we're looking for here. So these 2 points here point at, this is fine. This is good. This is fine and dandy. We have a slightly higher high on the RSI down here. We did come back and sort of retest the edge of the bullish control zone, and then we did have a nice bounce, which propelled us into the 10,800 area, which we are now. But again, the volume is, still within the same descending signature, and I'm not really too convinced that we're going to go back and actually retest it. I mean, so far, again, it looks like it wants to do it. It hit the target, right? So there's plenty of reasons to be bullish right now. Plenty of reasons. There's a lot of momentum pushing it upwards, and I mean, look at that. We broke through all these barriers of resistance. We broke through them. We've been closing sizable candles, 4-hour candles on top of them, which is great. We have gotten a little bit of more volume. The RSI is on par with that. So we have some really good indicators telling us that, hey, we're we could be coming back and retest the 10,000 or 11,500. But again, I want to see. This is what I want to see if we are to come back and retest the resistance here up here at 11.5. I want to see more volume. I want to see breakout volume like we did out here, right? We were in this descending pattern of descending volume pattern here, and then boom, we broke through it, right? We broke through it here with a big sell-off here. So we did get we were starting to get squeezed just like we are now. Now within this range here, we are also starting to get squeezed in. I mean, look, we're almost done with this, with this descending figure here, and if we do, and this could be right. This could be the same thing as we saw here, right? Because we've already spent a lot of energy, a lot of momentum going upwards. We could see it break. We could see the volume break above this resistance line, and but it could potentially be a negative run, right? And we could potentially go back and retest some lows, right? Because again, we're getting squeezed in here, pretty close. I would like to see Bitcoin actually retest this area, but again, based on what I'm seeing here with the volume, it looks like it's running out of steam, right? It doesn't. It looks like it's going to retest, and it could quite uh, reject from this area here and come back and retest some of these lower areas here. In fact, let's switch over to our um, our moving averages, and we can see that we're in a definite bullish posture, right? Again, there's another sign that is letting us know, hey, look, we are actually, looking very, very bullish, and we are. Look, I told you guys, my last video a couple days ago. You guys can go back and watch that for if you want validation. I told you guys, if we get above the 200 and start closing opening and closing some 4-hour candles here, then we could potentially talk about higher highs there, going and test the 7 to 800 to maybe 900 area, which we are about to go into, right? About 950, right? 10,950. That's going to be the next test for Bitcoin. If we do break above that again with some volume, uh, I mean, it doesn't have to, like, we don't have to have breakout volume, but we just have to have more buyers and sellers. Really, that's really the secret. But um, but again, if we don't have some convincing volume behind it, then I stand in the same place, right? Uh, I'm not too convinced that it's going to keep running like we have seen it here. I mean, it's been a gradual increase, right? A gradual, pretty gradual, right? It hasn't broken out like it did out here, or like it did perhaps here or back here, right? It's been sort of a gradual but steady upward momentum, right? Upward movement. We came back and have a slight dip, and then came back up, and we are having some red candles in between, so that's always good. But again, on the upward momentum. So again, I just cannot stress this enough. I want to see more volume behind it in order to be more fully bullish on this. Although I mean I'm pretty bullish on it anyway, but again I do think we're getting pretty close to the end of this if we don't see more volume. Let's take a look at where we saw where we closed the last daily. We closed at 10,523, which was great. And we were just below the simple 100 here coming in, and we actually broke it. And again, this is something I told you guys as well. On the daily, I was looking to open and close some candles, some daily candles above the 21. We did it, and that actually gave us the strength and momentum to keep on going upwards. We're now up above the 100 simple. I do want to see a close of it on top of the 100 simple here. If we do get this candle to close above it, then I do think we could potentially keep on going above into the $11,000 range. But again, it has to be, in my opinion, it has to have decent volume for us to do that, and we're going to have again more buyers than sellers. Right. Daily is looking pretty good on the RSI as well. We did cross to the upside on this 21 exponential here in the RSI, and we are testing the bullish control zone again. It's looking very bullish, and if we do break above the neutral zone and onto the bullish control zone in the RSI, then I do definitely again, I do see this run continuing. Although it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days now of green daily candles, so at some point we're going to have to retrace, and it wouldn't be a bad thing, right, to come back and retest the 21 on the daily, on the daily, right? It wouldn't be a bad move. It wouldn't be anything bad at 10,275, we'll call it. Okay. And it wouldn't, again, I wouldn't even, think about getting bearish. I mean, it would just be Bitcoin maybe gathering itself, taking a little breather, and then, propelling upwards again from here if it does touch the 21 again, and then just come back and have a breakout, keep going on this move that is, definitely looking like it wants to do, come back and retest the 11.5 range here. All right, so actually, let's get rid of this guy. There we go. All right. So actually, it's too much clutter. I want to get rid of some of these things. There we go. Nah, let's just leave it like that. Okay. All right. So this is the daily. I mean, just looking super bullish right now. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly also looks really, really good. We zoom in a bit, and I mean, just this could be a bullish engulfing candle. We'll just see. I mean, this is larger than we'd like it to be, but again, this could be a bullish engulfing on the weekly. And the RSI isn't looking too hot, but again, it looks like it wants to cross over, right? So it wants to cross over to the upside. And if it does that, then we could definitely say that this run will hold. Um, I am a little worried that it did dip down below the exponential here, the 21 there on the RSI, and it's kind of trying to make up its mind as to where it wants to go. It is currently in the neutral zone, so there's not a whole lot of weight either way. It's in a place where it can easily go up or down, right? But given the recent action, as long as we get some decent volume, I do think we can potentially turn it back around here, have it flip over the red orange looking exponential on the RSI, and come back and retest the bullish control zone, and then from there keep on having a nice run and retest this 11.4 area here. definitely, and quite possibly also, come back and retest the prior highs. But it is going to take some time, right? This is I always tell you guys, this isn't going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, some build up, some dips along the way, but eventually we can potentially, as long as these things hold up, right? The RSI is giving us this indicator. As long as Bitcoin has some separation from Alpha 21. Again, if it does come back on the weekly now, on the weekly, if it does come back and retest the 21, we're still pretty good. We're still good, man. There's nothing to worry about there. So if it does come back and retest, 8,000, well, it's at 8,383, which, at this point looks like it just looks like a very dim possibility that it does come back and retest the weekly 21 EMA here. Yeah, it's not 100% ruled out at this point. But it does seem like it's less and less likely. I mean, we're just building plenty of separation in between the two, and just not looking it's even possible at this point. But again, it's not impossible. It's not impossible. We've seen weirder, crazier things in this market. Let's take a look at the monthly. We did end the monthly here, and last time on my last couple of videos, I've been talking about the monthly, and I actually have to switch over to Bitstamps chart because it gives us a better history on the monthly. Let's see what we do. Here we go, Bitstamp. All right, so I was showing you guys how important this is on the monthly, because this is now getting into more of the macro outlook for Bitcoin going forward. I have been telling you guys that this crossed up on the RSI here since November 2015 back here. We crossed the 21 EMA on the monthly here to the upside, and I mean the bulls just took control over it at that point, and we did see sort of a 3-year bull run up until 2018 when when we hit the all-time high at 20,000. But it took us about 3 years to get to that point, right? Right from about right here. Actually, let's just, for shits and giggles, let's just put a measurement move on it. Right here, yeah. Put a measurement move on this thing. So it took us 761 days, but we went 555% to the upside, right? And it took us 3 years, but we got it done. Now, this is again, this is very, very important, right? This is what we're seeing here. We were waiting to see what would happen here. Now it's flattening out here, but just depending on where we close this monthly here at the end of August, we'll find out. September 1st is when we'll find out if this the green exponential here on the RSI does turn to the upside, and then we do see continuation of this run. Right now, it looks like it's flattening out. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that we're going to go back and retest some prior lows. Does not mean that at all. But I do want to emphasize how important this is, because again, last time we got above the 21, we went on a 3-year bull run. We just got above it now. We could come back and retest it again. It's not a bear indicator. If we but now we are above it. So we start thinking about this. Are we now officially going to go on an extended bull run? I mean, as of right now, we can definitely say that we're in a bull market. However, we don't know how long this is going to last. But if we just take a look at this and look at prior history, then we can say that, hey, look at that. We can potentially go on a 3-year run or 2-year run or something like that. But again, let's just wait and let's just be patient until the end of August and the beginning of September. This will definitely either have a cross to the downside or get separation from the red exponential and try to get into the bullish control zone here on the monthly RSI. So pay close attention. If you guys agree with me here or have something to say, leave it down in the comments. We'd love to chat about this particular thing. And definitely, if somebody asks you why are you so bullish or what do you think is going to happen in the next few months and next year or so, you can definitely refer to this and be like, hey, look, Last time we crossed the RSI to the upside here and got into the bullish control zone. I mean, we never looked back. I mean, we went 555% to the upside in a course of 3 years, right? So, if somebody asks you why you're so bullish, hey, there you go. A little bit of history on that. All right. So let's go back down into the lower time frames. Let's look at the hourly real quick. We're gonna have to actually switch back over to our um, Binance chart. Let's actually zoom in a bit. Hourly also looking very bullish above every moving average here, above the 30, the 21. Again, we could see a retest. We could see a retest of these moving exponentials here. I do want to see it touch the 21 before it actually goes up, because again, if we just keep going up and up and up and up, then the crash will be much harsher, right? And if you're not paying attention, that's you could potentially buy the top on this thing, and then the ceiling falls through, and we come back and retest at 21. So along the way, like I said, we should be seeing some dips, some retest of these exponentials down here, even to 55. As long as we don't turn back down on the 4 hour, um, yeah, if we don't, as long as the 4 hour doesn't, you know, um, turn below the 377 here. So we have plenty of room here. The 377 is coming in right around 9,700. So there's plenty of room for us to correct and keep on going. I don't think this is going to happen, right? Let me be clear with that. I don't think that's going to happen. But if it did, unless we break down below the 377, then I'm still in the same posture. We're still in the same, still going for the same targets. All right, so 1 hour is looking very bullish. On the shorter time frames, it does look like it's topping out. We could potentially see Bitcoin come back and retest the 21 simple here. I'm sorry, the 21 EMA here on the RS high. Again, doesn't mean that it's going to come back and retest any of these. It's just it could just be fizzling out and trade sideways for a little bit, like we did see here and back here and over here, and and then before we could see another run. Let's look at the 2 hour. 2 hour is looking pretty bullish. There's pretty much nothing above it right at the current moment on the 2 hour. Above every major moving average. Same scenario here. It is in the bullish control zone. It does look like the 2 hour does look like it could actually keep on going for a little bit more. Let's look at the 3 hour. 3 hour definitely in the bullish control zone, and we can see it here. Definitely confirmation of that. Now on the 3 hour volume, looks a little better. 3 hour volume looks way better. Looks flat over here. So I'll continue to pay attention to this. The 4 hour does look like like it is declining here. If we do look back here, yeah. Let's take a look. Yep, right here. Does look like a descending volume. So yeah, I think that's all we have for Bitcoin. Again, let's just recap real quick. This is where we're at. This does look like a rejection of the 10,900 level. It does look like rejected on the first pass. Not a bad thing yet. We could potentially come back and retest it a couple more times before we break through it, right? Because again, the more we attempt to break it to the upside, the weaker it becomes. That resistance level becomes weaker. Okay, so we could, it's natural to see it reject off of the first try, not getting, not scaring anybody at this point with that. Let's actually get rid of everything. It was measuring our volume down there. All right, so yeah. This is the next area of resistance, 950. Let's watch out if it does break through it. It is looking at like our best case scenario here. I just drew this resistance line at the beginning of this video, so this is the next target where we are going to pay attention to. But right now it did hit the measured move. It did hit the target, and now from this point forward, we're definitely leaning, like, again, if we get a little bit more volume on this, we're definitely leaning bullish, and we could definitely come back and retest 11.5 over the next week or two. Okay. So that's where we're at. If we come back and break on the 4 hour, if we break the 377 again down here, then I do start looking at 9400 as the next area of support. If we break below that, that's we'll come back and retest about 9,000 flat, 8,900, 9,000. That's going to be the next area of support. And then down here at 84, 8,500, which would again go back and refill the gap. But that is the ultra bearish scenario right now. It doesn't look like Bitcoin wants to do that. And again, we are on on the macro trend. We are on a descending channel here. This is more of a bull flag. So and it is acting. It's actually respecting that trend right now. Another bull, I guess, another mention that we can make a case as to why we feel a bit more bullish is the fact that it did not come back and retest this low here. We actually, I mean, we wicked down here, but I mean, it was just a touch and go. Got bought up immediately, and not a real true test of this prior low here. So this is a higher low here, and we are testing this previous local high here. So if we again, if we break above it, we'd be breaking the last prior high, and finishing this move looks a lot more likely. All right, so that's where we're at on that. Let's take a look at XRP real quick. This will be very, very quick. Even though there is mention that MoneyGram has actually started using XRP as of this week, you don't see it reflected on the price of Ripple. It's still retesting the prior area of resistance. Now, we have been playing above it for a very, very long time. If we go back, very, very long time. So I am concerned that this area of support does start to get weak, right? This one right here, this green line in the middle here. We've been testing it, retesting it along the way, and again, I'm worried that it will become weaker and weaker, and then we could potentially see the price of XRP drop into prior lows at about 25 cents, which would indicate that we're going back to 2017 type of prices, right? Back in 2017, 2 years ago, we saw XRP 20 below 25 cents. So at this point, even with the partnerships, I go back and remind everyone about the Mr. Schwartz, the CTO of XRP, letting us know and being completely upfront and honest, which I will give them credit for this. They are pretty honest and open about it. They let everybody know every time that they release a substantial amount of XRP off of their escrow account and dump it in the market, and and also um, they are letting us know that these partnership things are not as easy as they seem. They're not as concrete as they seem. They have on multiple occasions come out and let us know that there's a new partnership with such bank from Asia, from Europe, from Middle East. I mean, whatever the case is, and we're just not seeing the price reflected. So another point to make with XRP is, if you go to on-chain FX, you'll find out that they let you know that XRP it's one of two coins with a two-digit inflation rate at around 22, 23%. It is the only one of the only, along with XLM, along with XLM, they are both, they're both part of this unsightly club of coins that have high inflation. They're both above 20% inflation because, again, of all these XRP coins that are being dumped into the market on a monthly basis from escrow. Last time it was 250 million dollars, and again, they keep doing that pretty much every month. So the inflation on XRP is quite high, and so is XLM. And in fact, if you go back and measure, uh, if you try to see, how it's performed so far in 2019, you'll see that it is in the negative. It hasn't made money. It's if you're an investor, say you bought in on January 1st, well, it hasn't made you money. In fact, it actually um, has depleted some of your account. So that's definitely something to be aware of. I'm not saying that I'm against XRP or the XRP army. I'm just giving you what the facts are, just giving you more information so that you can make a better, more educated decision going forward. If you want to keep your money in it and you believe in the XRP for the very long term, say 2, 3, 5 years, then you probably know you probably know better than sell it right now, and this is just gibberish that you're listening to me just ramble here. But for those who are maybe newer to the market, maybe they're not as educated as other folks out there. This is something to note. This is something to definitely be aware of. And again, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Go on Chain FX and find out for yourself. All right. So it is looking weak. It is looking weak. It is hugging the 55 right now, but it does have a lot of work to do if it does want to come back and retest some of these prior higher levels here at above 40 cents. There's just a lot of work that XRP would have to do, and again, just fighting that inflation every month is tough on something like this, and we do see it in the chart. If we zoom out a bit and look at the daily. Actually, let's bring this down and squeeze it back in. Looking at the daily, yeah. So, I mean, again, we go back to 2017 type of prices here, and it's just sitting on really, really key support levels right now. Don't want to see it break this current level of support right now. But it is looking weak. The fact that Bitcoin has been on a massive run in the last week or so, uh, and we don't see a reaction from XRP is definitely something that is worrisome to me in my eyes. All right, so I said I was going to make it quick and short. Sorry if I rambled too much there. You guys can hit the fast forward button and get on to the next thing. Um, if it's too long. All right, let's look at BNB. BNB is sort of, I mean, it definitely looking stronger than XRP. It's retesting the 55 here. Now we do have some a nice set of EMAs here coming in convergence here, and will act as plenty of resistance. So if BNB can break above the 100, the 55, let's just say the 55 here looks like the EMA that's coming here on top of everything else, or the last EMA on the upside, at 29.75, 29.75, 25. We'll just leave it at $30, 30, or yeah, $30. If we break above it, then we can come back and retest the 33 cents. Then we can come back and retest the 35 cents, and possibly come back and retest the $40 that we did back in, what was this, June 22nd, the all time high, and that is the all time high in the history of BNB. But not looking too bad. We do have the 200 here. The 200. Let's see how the 200 has been acting. That is a key level, always a key level to look at. Looks like we lost it back here in August of 2018. How long were we below it? We were below it for 179 days. All right, so basically half a year. And then once we regained it, we stayed on top of the 200 up until now. So yeah, this is definitely a key level of support. The fact that I mean, we came close to retesting it, but we didn't actually come back and touch it. So that's a pretty good indicator. And since we actually made another higher low, so this is looking like it wants to come back and rally to the upside above the 55. I would look for a retest of the $29.90, maybe $30. I am looking for a retest of that price range. In fact, we'll put a target on it here, and then we'll reassess from there. But this is going to be a key area of resistance here. Let's just see if Again, it does look like it wants to do it, especially with Bitcoin rallying right now. Hopefully, it will also translate onto BNB. For right now, that's the way it's looking. We're below the 21 EMA on the RSI. I do want to see it come back and retest the 21 and actually puncture through it to the upside, so we can definitely get more bullish and definitely say that, hey, we're gonna come back and retest the 30 cents. Right now, though, it does look like it has a little bit more to go on the downside. As long as we don't get past this area here, as long as we don't get past 2675, we're still holding this overall formation, and I do think we can potentially come back and retest 30 cents. All right, that's on the daily. Look at the 4 hour really quick. 4 hour looking. Let's see. Yeah, it's fighting. I mean, it's putting up a fight. Definitely looks like it wants to again come back and retest the 30 on the 4 hour as well. It does look like we did get across right underneath the 21 EMA here. Does look like it wants to rally back up from this point at 28 cents. So yeah, overall, I mean that the retest of the $30 target is quite possible here. Definitely it is looking like it wants to come back and retest it again. As long as Bitcoin keeps going on this rally, I don't see anything stopping it from doing that. So that's the 4 hour. Let's look at Link. Link, we actually went in on a trade earlier today. We did see this big. Let's actually get rid of our moving averages here for a second. So here's something that I've been preaching to you guys for quite a while in this channel. If you're a newer trader and are looking for ways to trade and some less risky options out there, when we see these sort of triangle formations drawing out, then we look for these breakouts, right? I did wait for confirmation though on this one a little bit, so I did get in around I want to say like 230 between 230 and 231, but then we still had a very nice run to the upside. Let's just put a measurement here about 230. This is a good spot to measure it. I did get out at 245 though, so about seven. No, here we go. About 6.5% gain, right? And that's because I entered a little bit late. I wanted some reassurance. I wanted some I wanted some reassurance to make sure that this was going to be a breakout and not a fake out, right? Because these things do happen a lot. We do see coins having a breakout, but then they end up being fake out, right? So this one actually did work out for us. Again, going about 6.5% on a trade that took us about, I don't know, maybe 2-3 hours at the most. So not a bad day for us there. As far as this goes right now, we did hit this. This was the target that I was really looking for at 245. We did get above it, and we are closing some significant candles above it. We could come back, and this is the new target, 2.7, $2.70. So that's my next target here, right? For anyone that cares. This though for me is a high risk option. If you have some money laying there that you want to throw at this and just for fun to see what happens, then not financial advice, but I still think that we can come back and retest the 270. So there you go. Link, again, this is one of the hottest projects. Doesn't surprise me. I've been watching it just constantly. And one of the things that led me to look back at it and see if Chainlink was going to in fact break out was the fact that Bitcoin had gone on a pretty sizable run, and then it actually started to consolidate on its run right over here, right? Closing some 4 hour candles and then just, easing its way up again and then having a little bit more consolidate, yeah, a little more sideways trading. So that leads us to believe that, hey, sometimes when Bitcoin is just taking a breather and taking a back seat, then it just gives room for these sort of things to happen and play out, right? So there's another another pointer, if you will. After Bitcoin goes on a pretty sizable run, and then it starts to consolidate and trade sideways, that's always a good time to start seeing and looking around to see what else is out there that might be breaking out. And we did see it here with Chainlink. This is definitely good. I do think we're going to come back and retrace, but at this point it's still looking like it wants to continue this move into the 270 range. Again, that's too high risk for me. I already made my trade on it. If I do see break this area here with some volume, then I could possibly re-enter here, and then this would ultimately be my next target over here, right around $3.28. I don't think that's don't get me wrong. This is far fetched in my mind, and I don't think this would happen anytime soon. Right? It's just too lofty of a pipe dream for anybody. So there you go. That's Chainlink. Let's take a look at Algorand. And this one went just ballistic. This one crazy. Um, Earlier today, I caught it too late, and didn't feel like going into this one. But again, these are sort of the things that you'll see in in this market. So again, once it broke above here at 0.579 or 0.580, you know, it went on a pretty massive run. And let's actually put a measurement from um, actually the breakout point to the high of this thing, 52%. Right? Actually, a little bit more than that. Let's just call it 53%. So it went on a massive run. If you caught it down here, then that's even it's even a better move from wick to wick, 74%. It took 20 hours. Not a bad day for anybody, right? So again, these are the sort of the things that you have to, always be on the lookout for. Again, I missed that one, but I did not miss Link, which I'm still happy with my 6%. Um, if you caught Algorand, let us know down below. Let us know how you caught it. Let us know what you did. If you were looking at it, if you maybe you're part of a signals group or whatever, that's all fine and dandy. I don't do that. This is not the channel to do that. I try to give you guys some of these tips so you guys can go out and do your own thing, and hopefully you are learning from some of these videos. And then I wanted to look at Litecoin. It looked like it wanted to rally up along with Bitcoin, but then it fizzled out, and it looks like it's just consolidating right now, trading sideways. Um, Again, um, just more indication that there is no altcoin summer. Now, if we look at this, it does kind of look like a head and shoulders, which would be bad for Litecoin. I mean, this could be a shoulder, this could be the second shoulder, this could be the shoulder, this could be the. I mean, it's not it's not a perfect picture perfect. Um, Again, I mean this it's too weird. I'm gonna say it's not, but I mean it has some of the characteristics. The volume is also, I mean, not quite what we want to see on a head and shoulders formation. But if it does play out, then this would not be a good thing for Litecoin. I mean, we do see huge area of support here on a descending wedge or ascending wedge. I'm sorry, um, this macro formation here. Um, but overall, it's looking okay, but it does look like it might finish the move, come back and retest this area of support down here at around, let's just call it 74.75 cents, right? If it does, this could be a good entry point for anybody, uh, and for those who are big Litecoin fans. Charlie Lee did, not me, but Charlie Lee did come out and say that the price of the halvening uh, was already priced in, right? So this is the halvening price. Whatever you see here, this is the halving price. So the time to get in on Litecoin was back here, back in March, right? Because of the halving. So this would have been a great time for you guys to get in. Not now, not now. I don't think we're going to see this type of run in Litecoin for another while until the market proves me wrong personally, and I will own up to it. But until the market proves me wrong, and there is an altcoin summer, then we can definitely see that Litecoin is going to go on another run like this. It doesn't mean that it can't do it again, but we can see that it is building a strong base right around here, around 87 cents. And it's not a bad thing too if you're trading Litecoin. I mean, it looks like it could be trading in this channel here, between the 104 and $87 dollars here. So I mean, not a bad play too, right? If it keeps consolidating and trading sideways here within this channel, there's still potential for gains. Um, but over time, I do think Litecoin is a solid project. And I do think that we could come back and retest some of these prior lows eventually, or prior highs, excuse me, eventually. All right, so we'll leave it at that with Litecoin. Let's take a look at one last one, Ethereum, before we go, and here we go. Not looking too great. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say that I'm not too bearish on Ethereum because it is staying above the 30 here, and it looks like it wants to close this daily candle above the 200 here. If we do get a close above the 200 on the daily, then I start to get bullish on it, and we could come back and retest the first area of interest here will be 231 and 239. These have been here for at least a couple of videos. So if you want to go back and have a more in-depth analysis on Ethereum, go back in 2 videos ago. I think from August 27th. I did a video going over Ethereum more in depth, so you can go back and look at that. I do want to keep it nice and short for today, and give you guys sort of a what to look for this weekend. Usually there's not a whole lot going on the weekend, but again, if we do close a daily candle, then maybe next week there is room for continuation, and we come back and retest 231 with Ethereum. Okay, and also another in between that, if we close the daily this daily here above the 21, even better, even better. Okay, let's take a look at the 4 hour quickly before we end the video. And 4 hours actually looking pretty good. 4 hours actually looking pretty good to me. Let's see. Yeah, definitely looking pretty good. It's above the 89 right now. We did close a 4 hour candle above it. Looking to open and close a second candle above it. So yeah, the 4 hour is definitely letting us know that it's in contention. The 231 area is in contention. We're currently at 222. So if we go back and retest it from here, you're looking at about 4.3% gain from there. I do again like this is very typical. If we do come back and retest a 231 area, it very likely will reject off of there. Okay, um, and then you can come back and rebuy it back here at the 89 if you want. If you want to take that move. Not financial advice, but again, that would be something that that would not be a bad idea. That's what I'm trying to get at. All right, RSI is looking like it does want to follow through on that. Did have a nice bounce once, twice on the 21, which is very good to see. It actually gives us again. This is a sort of confirmation for what we're seeing here, right? Although I do see a little bit of bearish divergence here. This between this high and this high. We do see uh, this is a higher high here, but a lower high on the RSI. So I don't like to see that. Don't like to see that. Um, and the volume we did see here, more volume here. We do see here. So, uh, you know, it is pointing upwards. Um, Geez, I'm on the fence. I'd be careful here, guys. I'd be careful if you're trying to go into Ethereum. I'd really be careful because again, this is not trustworthy to me. Okay, we could fizzle out here pretty soon and come back and retest at least a 21 here, at least a 21, and hopefully reset from there and have another try at the 231. All right, so I'd be careful here. I'm kind of on the fence on this one with Ethereum. Does look like, if we just look at this here, there's the most recent price action here does look like it wants to rally up to 231. If we look at this whole here, this whole formation here, it is a 4 hour, but it is giving us somewhat of bearish divergence or reasons to be skeptical about it. I'll say that. So just be careful, guys. Be careful. It just, I mean, there's nothing wrong if you want to go in it, but it is more of a, in my mind now, this becomes a higher risk move if you wanted to do that. All right, so that's all I have for you guys tonight. It is Friday night. Go enjoy the weekend. Hopefully, you did get something out of it in exchange for your time. And if you did, please hit the like button and also subscribe so you get these notifications when I do put this sort of content out. And again, always like to hear from you guys. So leave it down in the comments, whatever if you agree or disagree, or you want me to cover something else. All right. Reminding you, I'm also on Twitter. You can always reach out at the Real Shaw 256 on Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great weekend.